for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.
Hello and welcome to Mission Nonprofit. I'm your host, Robert Kam. On Mission Nonprofit, we feature a local nonprofit organization from Thurston County. This month, we have Stonewall Youth. With me to talk about Stonewall Youth is Zsatasia Green. And Zsatasia is joining us over webcam because of the social distancing rules that are in place right now. So Zsatasia, they can see you now over the computers. Why don't you wave, say hi.
Hello, nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. How have you been coping with the social distancing rules and things in place?
Well, we've officially canceled programming, so I've just been at home watching TV and eating snacks in my bed because where else can you really go?
Right? You can go to the grocery store when you have to, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. How about you?
I have been able to work from home. I am actually at the station right now because I'm in the studio. We do have kind of a bare bones staff. There's no camera operators. I have one director in the control room. So we're trying our best to play by the rules here. But yeah, I have been able to work from home and we've had meetings over Zoom and things like that. I did yoga this morning over Zoom because you can't do yoga around other people. So it's been very interesting, isn't it? But
by all means necessary.
Exactly. So and your organization is there for LGBTQ of the ages of 18 to 24. Is that correct? Or younger than 18?
Yeah, we serve folks from 12 to 24.
Okay. 12, yeah, 12 to 24.
We're lenient on the lower side also.
Even younger than 12, you're saying?
If folks are like 11, we're definitely flexible on that.
Okay. And you have a great building downtown in Olympia where folks can join after school and they can mingle and socialize. And tell me a little bit more about the place, the building downtown.
Yeah, so Stonewall, we just bought our building in the summer of 2018, and we're really excited about it because we get to really make the space our own. Let's see, last summer, actually, we painted the building, and so now you see, like you drive down State Street and you see a bright pink building with a little bit of teal. It looks like a Barbie dream house. It's definitely a standout building. But we want to let, the community know, like, hey, we're here.
Yeah, there you go. Make it loud, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so in the building, we have programming. We do drop-ins, which is really just folks just come in, hang out with other folks and gain community with other queer and trans folks in the area. So let's see, we also have support groups on Wednesdays where folks just come and talk about their issues and try to get resources if needed or just peer support. We also do advocacy hours where folks can get connected to different resources. We also have really fun events. We tend to host events in different locations. So we've hosted a few at like SPSCC, Evergreen occasionally. In our building now, we also do different events. Earlier, let's see, this year we did a Valentine's Day dance, and that went really well. It was kind of an open mic. So folks got to come and show off their talents, whether it was a poem or if they wanted to sing a song. We even had somebody propose to their significant other at this last one. That was interesting. Yeah, definitely.
Don't you have a prom in the, is it in the spring you have a prom there towards the end of school? And it had a creative name. I forget what it was. Tell me the name of the prom.
Queer prom?
Was it just, okay, it was queer prom. Okay.
Oh, homecoming, maybe?
Maybe, oh, it was homecoming. That was, I'm thinking, okay, yeah. That's a fun, yeah, that was, so that's in the fall with homecoming. You've got homecoming and then you've got queer prom. And okay.
Yes, cool. Absolutely. And folks are really excited about them. Like they can come dressed if they want to, they don't have to, but however they want to express themselves, we encourage it.
Now, unfortunately, these events have been canceled because of COVID-19 and all of the social distancing. So it's sad that some of the seniors won't get to participate in prom this year and some of the other fun events that you had. But what are you doing right now during the social distancing orders for people? What do you have still operational?
Yeah, so we think it's really important that now more than ever, like folks know that they have resources and have community. And even though we have to do social distancing right now at Stonewall, we are we made a plan that we are gonna make advocacy appointments. So basically, if any Stonewall participant needs something, they can either email our info@stonewallyouth.org email, or text our Stonewall phone or advocacy phone. So there's 3 ways to get to us. And basically, we would make an appointment to do some advocacy. If you need healthcare right now, if you need help with insurance, if you need help filing your taxes, we can make an appointment with you and help you figure that out. So
maybe we should announce those phone numbers, emails, and stuff right now, and we can even put it on the screen. What are the phone numbers, emails, and contact? What are the ways to contact you guys?
Yeah, so the main way would be through our email, which is info, INFO, at Stonewall Youth, STONEWALLYOUTH. And let's see, our line, our phone line, our main line is 360-888-4273. And let's see, I have the advocacy phone number, and it is 360. Just a second, I apologize.
Yeah, one of the advantages of doing webcams, if you've got all your computer resources right in front of you, you just click on the next tab and pull it up.
It's exactly what I'm trying to do. It's in my scent, but I cannot. There we go. Okay. The advocacy phone number is 360-763-3971. And I can give that info again if needed.
Well, you had info at Stonewall Youth. Is that .com, .org?
.org.
.org,
Yeah.
okay. And then you've got the phone numbers there, and we'll put all that stuff on the screen for people. So they could leave a message. They send the email, obviously, and tell them what their problem is or issue. And then the phone number, main line, they can leave a message, and you guys will check those regularly. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so folks can even text us if that's an easier way to get in contact with us. We're really flexible on that. You don't need to send an email if you don't have access to internet or something. Feel free to text us, feel free to call us, feel free to do whatever you need to in order to get in contact.
And you said something about 10-minute advocacy appointments. That's what you're setting up for people where you can talk to their problem, talk about what their issues are, and maybe help them through on those appointments.
Definitely. So folks will get in contact with us and tell us about what, like a particular issue that they're struggling with or something that they need support with. And we will respond back to them like, hey, let's set up an appointment for tomorrow at 2. And in that 10-minute appointment, we would talk about whatever issue they're facing and try to make a plan. And basically what our goal with that plan is to help them go through a process. And if it doesn't work, then we will have them come back. We just want to make sure that folks have different ways to get through things. So if folks need any help, we're there to make sure that folks are getting meeting the goals that they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, during regular times, you have your drop-ins at the building, and you have lots of different things in your space. Would you call it Stonewall Youth headquarters? Do you have a name for it, or just at Stonewall Youth?
We're transitioning into more of an event space, so we are calling it Stonewall Youth Community Center.
Community center. There we go.
Yeah.
And you have, don't you have games and stuff? Tell me about the things that you have for people to do at the drop-ins.
Gotcha. So at drop-ins, we have a very large space, and we are able to separate that into different chunks. So one chunk that we have in one corner is arts and crafts, where you have like a ton of different construction papers. You have all kinds of magazines to do, vision boarding, ton of glitter, any kind of art supplies. And then after that, we have some musical instruments. So some guitars, a drum set, a bass, like a ukulele. If folks have any interest or any skill, like, feel free to come and play our instruments. Besides that, we have video games. We have an area that has a bunch of different board games you can play, card games. We are always playing Uno in this space, and you lose friends when you play Uno. Okay, that's just a setup. Let's see. After that, we have a space for folks to use a computer. If they don't have access to a computer, they can get on there and play games. We have Sims downloaded on there, so that's what folks have been using it for lately. We have an altar where folks can have a moment to be spiritual, or have a moment just to mourn over somebody, or to give prayer. It depends on what folks are into. We also have a library, a couch circle that folks typically gather around, and we have a small kitchen. So folks can come and make food. They can put stuff in the fridge, in the freezer. We have a small stovetop. We have microwaves. We have an office, and we have a free closet as well. If folks are in need of clothes, or if they want to donate clothes, or even gender-affirming items like binders, we accept those, and we have them for participants to grab if they need them. Some folks, a lot of the participants at Stonewall tend to be houseless. So being able to come and grab those materials and not feel any negativity about it, because a lot of these folks are queer and trans and need, certain kinds of clothing. So that's really important that we're helping them, gather community within clothes, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And you probably have people donating that. Maybe even former participants will donate stuff that, once they are age out of the program or something, maybe they come back, give back, and things like that. But you probably accept donations, cash, be it clothing, anything at all. Am I correct about that? And what would people do to help out? Would go to your website? Is that the best thing?
Yeah, so folks can head to our website. We love donations. You can feel free to donate on the website. We often have fundraisers, but we have a bowl-a-thon coming up that's probably going to be canceled because of the social distancing thing. But folks can also volunteer later on in the year when things are getting better. We'll have some events. It might be a community potluck. It might be just a community meeting. Having folks there to staff them or just to help be support. Volunteering is great. Let's see, donating, we do take clothes and money, absolutely. So all those ways, feel free to help.
All right, we should mention your website now at this point. Isn't it stonewallyouth.org? Is that it?
Absolutely.
Stonewallyouth.org, pretty easy to remember. And
yes.
Can just put that into your web browser and see what they have to offer and click that donate button, right? And so those after school hours, that's like 3 to 7, I think I remember. Is that when people can come and drop in?
Yeah, so from Wednesday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m.
3 to 7. Do you have any other regular things that happen on a regular basis with hours?
Yeah, definitely. So on Tuesdays, throughout the month, every first and third Thursday is Cutie Pock night, and Cutie Pock stands for Queer and Trans People of Color. So it's just a night for queer and trans folks of color to get together. And we do that because we are a very social justice focused org. We want to encourage folks to acknowledge their own privilege and also to create social change to make things better.
What time does that happen?
3 to 7 on the first and third Thursdays.
Okay. Excellent.
And yeah, the second and fourth Thursdays are 18 to 24 night. So that's specifically dedicated to participants that are 18 to 24. And it's important that we separate those folks from folks who are 12 to 18. So folks can, find their own community like within their age, but also not creating any like awkward situations within the space.
What about social networking? Do you have Facebook? Do you have other things where people can follow you? Instagrams, Twitter, Snapchat. Tell us about what other ways people can, subscribe, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a Instagram page, and we're going to be doing some live programming on there for the next few weeks for social distancing. That's at Stonewall Youth.
At Stonewall Youth.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have a Facebook, and that's at Stonewall Youth Oli, OLY. And we also have a Twitter, and that is at Stonewall Youth.
Excellent.
Yes.
You have support groups. You have scholarships. You have the drop-in hours. Tell me more about the support groups. Is that...
Yeah. So support group, basically, it's just for peers to get together and talk about different things that they have been dealing with, whether it's currently or in the past. And basically, folks arrive, we split the time evenly, and we have a period where we just let folks just talk. And if folks have clarifying questions or anything, we make sure to raise hands and hey, I have a question about this. We make sure to do trigger warnings also if there's any sensitive topics that are going to be talked about, whether it's trigger warning, domestic violence, if it's something involving that, or sexual assault. So we make sure to do those every Wednesday because folks, it's hard out here. We get it.
Yeah. Okay, so that happens on Wednesdays. Are there certain topics that are kind of, is it always just support group, or is it support group for, and then you schedule different things?
Yeah, so right now it's just in general support group,
okay.
But we do plan in the future to have specialized support groups. So support groups specifically for trans women. That's one of the things that we have been talking about in the past, because it's really important that we, not everybody shares the same struggles. So we're wanting to make sure that folks who are really impacted are getting the things that they have historically been missing out on.
Awesome. That sounds good. And I said scholarships, but you don't really have scholarships of your own, but you do link people up with scholarships, because these are mostly high school. Some of them are younger, but they might be looking towards getting into college, and you may help them find scholarships if they are having trouble affording college. So
absolutely, definitely. And Stonewall Youth, if you are a part of the staff, we can even pay for some of your classes. I know that that's something that we have done with some of the staff who are there currently. So there's definitely some extra stuff that we do with school.
Let's talk a little bit about volunteering. What makes a good volunteer, and what do your volunteers do?
Okay, yeah. So volunteers, it really depends on what the volunteer is looking for. We tend to just put volunteers where they would like to be. So if folks are interested in events, we will have them either helping staff an event. We'll have them helping us put together or tear down different programming that we may have in the space. So if we're having like a poster making day, like helping out with arts and crafts, helping, showing folks different techniques on how to create things. And what makes a great volunteer is folks who are self-starters, folks who are LGBTQ plus, who are part of the community or have had experience like having a family member or somebody that's close to them who has like been a part of the LGBTQ community. But just folks who are aware of their privilege, folks who have a social justice lens working in their mind, folks who are interested in activism also. That's what we do. So definitely having folks who are like-minded is important.
Is there an age limit to volunteering?
No, there isn't. You can volunteer you can be older if you want to volunteer. You can be 100 if you wanted to volunteer. That just means that we might have to change, like we can't have adults during drop-ins. So you might be helping out with an event that's open to the public if you're an older adult. If you are maybe like a 13-year-old person who wants to volunteer, you could be like helping during drop-ins. You could be helping putting together a workshop. It's really up to the volunteer.
Well, what events do you have that are maybe later in the summer or in the fall after, we're all released that might still be, on the calendar?
We have.
Okay. Never mind. I think I lost your volume, but you're back. Your mic's back. So go ahead and continue.
Okay. So every year around August, the end of August, we have a glitter camp, which is programming that takes our youth, Stonewall's youth, out into the woods. We go camping. We have a cabin that we'll go to, and we'll do all kinds of fun different sports or play different games. It's really just supposed to be a community building experience. So we'll do workshops on advocacy. This last one, we learned how to paddle around a lake in these weird inner tube things that are circles. We did all kinds of fun stuff. We did an advocacy workshop. We did social justice workshops on how we would change things if we had the opportunity to. So yeah, it's just getting folks out of their regular spaces, like in downtown Olympia, getting folks out in the wilderness to have fun and to do things that they don't typically have access to.
And is that like a week-long camp then? And they spend the night every night there in cabins? And how long is it?
The last ones have been like 3 nights,
okay.
2 nights, but we are thinking of making this year's, a 1-night thing, but a 2 or 3 day event. So there would be 2 days of just like day camp, and then one day the last day we would spend the night. So that's kind of what we're thinking, but we're also still trying to take feedback from participants and the community and see what the community would like.
Okay, great. So we are almost out of time. I do want to invite you to come back where you can bring some of your other Stonewall Youth participants to the studio and have a regular episode of Mission Nonprofit in person once social distancing is relaxed. So we will do that. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to mention here before we leave?
I did want to correct our Twitter name. I did get it wrong earlier. It's at Oly Stonewall, OLY Stonewall. And that is it. I wanted to thank you for allowing me to come on and talk about Stonewall. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing more stuff with y'all in the future.
Yeah, and maybe you want to have a little group that comes here and takes our training, and they can make a show. Yeah.
Honestly, that
You
would be
can
great. Let me write that
make
down
a
because,
TV show here at TC Media. You come and you take the training, you learn how to use the studio, and it's a great for people that are the age group that that you cater to. So they can come and they can learn how to use the cameras. They can make a TV show in the studio. So I want you to keep that in mind too.
I will. I definitely will. We have an opportunity board in the space, and one of the TCM opportunities was up there a little bit ago.
Oh, okay.
So I'm definitely sure folks are going to be interested in this training. So excited to tell folks.
All right, excellent.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for your time and hang in there.
Thank you. You too. Stay away 6 feet from everyone. Stay safe. You got this.
Okay, it was good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
That's all we have for you. You can see Mission Nonprofit on Channel 77 on Sundays at 4:30 p.m., Tuesdays at 6 p.m., Thursdays at 7:30 p.m., Fridays at 12 p.m., and Saturdays at 2:30 a.m., 10 a.m., and 6:30 p.m. You can also catch us online at tcmedia.org. See you next time.
Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.